Hey y'all, so I just wanted to jump on here really quick and give you guys a short video update of the area underneath the window box. So I had a little bit of time off work this afternoon that I wasn't expecting, so I went and picked up some new plants. I have been thinking about the window box for a while now, and I wasn't exactly sure what direction I wanted to go. But when I went to the nursery today, I really thought about it, looked at some things, and I'll show you guys what I came up with. You can see the bishop's hat that I've had for, I don't know, about 2 months that was supposed to be planted in the front, and it's still sitting there. So I think I am going to plant that back here with some of the new plants. But in addition to the bishop's hat and the new plants, I wanted to show you guys the plants that I plan on repurposing from out in the landscape. So why don't we just go ahead and take a look, turn around and take a look at the space itself. I'll show you the repurposing plants, I'll show you the new plants, and I'll give you a close-up of the bishop's hat. So let's just turn around. Okay, so here is the space. Please do not judge the weeding. I need to do so much weeding that is not even funny. And this little area right here is kind of a catch-all for stuff that I never got planted, hence the white violas. I'm probably gonna pop those out in the raised beds just so they can kind of self-seed themselves, and then we'll just get some random violas probably next spring. Okay, but let me focus. So this area underneath here is what I want to re-landscape totally. So everything you see in here, these right here are just the bishop's hats that have been sitting there. This was a boxwood that I took out of this window box, and I want to save it and I want to repurpose it. So I stuck it in that pot and stuck it in a really shaded, protected area. And same for those came out of the front window box. I'll be planting those up this weekend as well. I've been watering them while they were laying there just to keep them alive. But this is kind of what we're working with. So the Akuba here, this is all going to come out. I don't imagine that this is going to be easy to get out. It's been here for some time. You can see how thick the stumps are. So that should be a chore in itself to get out. And then of course the Nandinas will be coming out. The only things that will be staying will be the oak leaf hydrangeas, and I think I'm going to leave this yew as well, at least for right now. I might repurpose that yew out front at some point, but all the Nandinas are coming out. We'll be doing some composting of this area and then putting some new fresh rocks in as well. So that's kind of what we're working with here. These yews are going to come out. They're just kind of tall and overgrown, and while I don't dislike them, I just really want this space totally cleaned out so that I have a blank slate to work with. And then I'm going to repurpose a lot of boxwoods all along the back by the brick. So let's take a look at those. This boxwood right here, these I want to kind of recoup a little bit. This is the other one from the back window box. I want those to recoup just a little bit before I plant them in the ground. But this right here, it's butted up to where we keep our patio furniture. And this, so I've mentioned in a previous video that once all the self-seeders are done blooming, I will remove those completely. I want a blank slate here. I do want to plant some low growing things around under this red bud. So I think that will be going. This one for sure. Not 100% sure about that one yet. This one will be getting removed. And then there are 2 boxwoods right here that will be getting removed, and I plan on putting all of those along the wall, and I plan on eventually hedging those into a square form. So I've mentioned in previous videos that we have a blind dachshund. He runs into anything that is just kind of out in the open essentially, and so that's one of the big reasons why we will be removing the boxwoods that are out in the open areas. And then here are the new plants. So you can see I got a lot of hostas there, and I won't be using all of them, but they finally had some small, cheaper priced hostas And I actually found these at Lowe's. I was having a really hard time finding blue hostas, but they had them at Lowe's. They were like $5.48 or something like that. They had a couple flats, so I bought both flats. So let's take a look at this. So this, in this video, at least what I'm looking at on my screen, it kind of has a little bit of a silvery quality to it, but it's much darker purple in person. You can see here that it's got dark veining and the underside is a beautiful purple. This is the Grande Amethyst. And let's see here. So height 14, width 28. That should be perfect. I want to step down that bed. These are so pretty. It's a different variety. They're even deeper purple. I don't plan on using those back there, but I saw these and they only had 2 of them. Let me see if I can find the tag here. And so I snagged these because I just really thought that they were really, really pretty. Heuchera Forever Purple. Height 14, width 16. Just a really pretty, almost fluorescent purple, really. I don't know that I've ever seen this exact variety, so I snagged it, and there's a reason why they only had 2, because they were so pretty. So here is another Heuchera. So Heucheras do pretty well for us in protected areas, and they tend to be evergreens. So that's why I'm buying a bunch of Heuchera for that exact reason. Heuchera Northern Exposure, Sienna. Height 13, width 21. So obviously the combination of this lime green with this purple is really stunning. And then I'll show you guys the blue hostas and I'll mix that in as well. And I think you'll see the color scheme that I'm going for. Not that it's much different than the rest of my color scheme. Some Japanese holly ferns, just a classic easy fern to grow, tends to be evergreen in our area unless the winters just get absolutely crazy. That area that I showed you guys earlier that I was plan on planting this weekend, it is a very protected area, so anything that tends to lend evergreen for us probably will stay evergreen in that area because it's so protected. So height 24, and this will be right in front of the Boxwoods. And then some Halcyon plantation lilies, which are hostas. And then average height is 18 to 24 and width is 24 to 36. So these are in really small containers. And for whatever reason this year I was having a hard time finding some blue hostas that weren't about $20 a piece. And so when I came across these, I got some extras. They won't all be going in that window or in the landscape underneath the window box. And then last but not least, we have some pretty and pink bishop's hat that I'll probably tuck in more on the sides. This is a stump. I have no idea why that's there. It's getting removed this weekend as well, but I'll probably tuck it in more on the sides here. I'll be laying it all out. I'm actually going to set up my camera here in just a second and get all of these laid out just to kind of get an idea. We have stuff in this flower bed too that we have to work around because there are some plumbing areas and there are some gas line areas. So full shade to partial shade, pretty pink blooms in the spring, and reaches 1 foot tall, slowly spreads to 3 feet wide. So I think I have 5 or 6 of those. But let me just get my camera set up and I'll start placing some of these plants, and then you guys can kind of get an idea, minus the boxwoods, of what everything will look like. I should also mention that, as I mentioned just a second ago, this is a very protected, shaded area. So I'm not as concerned about transplanting some of these boxwoods that are in the ground to this location. And also the boxwoods that I am removing and putting here are all the same variety. So anyways, let me just get my camera set up. I'll set some of these plants out and we'll take a look at it. Oh, and I should also mention that I'll be popping these in there as well. They are hardy orchids and they are an awesome purple color, obviously spring bloomer. And so I'll be tucking these in certain places as well. So you'll have to imagine boxwoods all along the back, and then I'm going to start placing based on height and color. All that is left is the bishop's hat, and I know this all looks really small, but actually it's fairly crammed in there considering, and it's honestly it's a little bit hard to see, but so I have some things trailing all the way out here. The holly ferns will get pretty large. The hostas, let me see, let me actually pull all of these tags. Well, I can't find them, so in just a second I will pull all the tags, but I'll remind you guys of the heights. So I know it's hard to imagine kind of when it's not finished, but I might pop some of the bishop's hats in between there, and honestly I may not use the bishop's hat at all. I may kind of leave it out for now. And you can see I'm gonna need to move this pot with a Japanese maple in it, and that will give me some room for some bishop's hat as well. And I kind of want it to just overflow from the flower bed and just kind of look like a natural flow. And I may end up getting some variegated ajuga to mix in here as well. But overall, let me zoom in a little bit. Overall, I mean, I think once we get the plants out that we don't want, it'll look pretty good. And just as a reminder on the Heuchera hybrid Grande Amethyst, why can I not say that today? Height is 14, width is 28. On the hybrid Northern Exposure Sienna, height 13, width 21. So most of these are gonna spread out and really fill in their areas. On the Halcyon, hope I'm saying that right, I think I am, the Hosta, 24 by 36, and mostly it's going to be the leaves. They're somewhat of a taller variety. You can see their stems there are pretty long, so that will kind of just pop up in between. At least that's my plan. And then the Japanese holly ferns are roughly 24 inches high, and I think most of the boxwoods are taller than that height wise, so I think it should be a good staggered down effect once we get everything removed and placed in its final spots. I'll probably tweak this quite a bit, obviously, when we are done removing everything. And of course, when we do this, we will film this for you guys and you'll be able to see the final product. So that is all that I have for today. Just a quick update so that you guys would know what to expect this coming Saturday. I'll probably get it posted maybe Sunday. I like to take the day to get everything done and then get the videos edited and then get them out the next day. So anyways, that's the plan. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you guys this weekend.